What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video on my channel, Early Plays, and in today's video I'm going to be telling you guys how I beat the brand new SS rank Kaguya mission, seeing as I've only been playing this game for about a week and a half since I gave away my account on this brand new account. So yeah, and I've been able to quite easily do this. So yeah, in today's video I'm going to be going over the team I brought, why I brought them, what they do, how I beat all the maps, and then at the very end I'm probably there's going to be a gameplay of, or probably of me doing it about twice or something. And yeah, so confirmation that I can actually do it. But yeah, so without further ado, let's get straight into this. Alright, so first up in my team, I brought the brand new dual Rinnegan Madara, because obviously, you know, he is absolutely insane for this raid, as he does get a massive buff for it, as he has like a 49, I think it's 49 times multiplier on his ultimate, which is absolutely insane. It's going to allow him to nuke for tons of damage, over 100k on his ultimate without any boosts, so which is going to be absolutely insane. Madara also removes barrier, perfect dodge, ignore sub to all enemies on his first shoot and ultimate, which makes it so much easier for him to just hit and not having to worry about barrier, perfect dodge and all that stuff. Madara's field skill, which has a 25% to 30% field damage reduction, which is absolutely insane, because it's going to allow you to tank all of the massive damage that that's being dealt to you, especially with the third map, but I'll get onto the third map eventually. So yeah, amazing field skill. Madara's body skill, boost skill attacks by 500. I never actually got to use that skill, the body skill. I never, you know, got to take that into effect, because I think, yeah, Madara was the only skill unit. No, he was like the, well, actually, he wasn't the only skill unit I brought, but yeah, with my team setup, I wasn't able to give skill units the 500 boost, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, so Madara's stats are really good. You need to make sure all your units are pilled out, especially for when taking on this raid, because you're going to need as much HP and damage as you can get, especially when going into this raid, because the third map is kind of a nightmare to deal with. So yeah, when it came to dupes with my Madara, I had 5 out of 6 dupes into my Madara, because I was so fortunate to pull 5 Madaras in my summons. Well, by spending 400 piles, I was able to pull 5 Madaras. So yeah, I was kind of fortunate, and also I had a dupe stone available, because, you know, Bandai pretty much just gave away dupe stones during the campaign of the first week of this coming out, of Madara and Hashirama and that coming out, which was very handy. So I was able to get a 750 healing dupe, which is very nice. I'm kind of annoyed that I didn't, but I just fed all of my Madaras into this one Madara, because having 2 Madaras would have been such a good idea, because then I could have one Madara behind my own Madara, and then I could have like a Madara having a 500 attack boost constantly, which would be very nice. But I didn't, because I'm an idiot. So yeah, onto his jutsus. 3-6 chakra, which is literally just makes it so nice, because you can literally just spam jutsus over and over and over again, which is very nice. But yeah, so for 3 chakra, you can remove perfect dodge and barrier for one enemy in rage, ignore substitution, with a 4.5 times damage towards them, which is very nice. I'm not going to get onto the neutralizes element affinity based damage reduction, because it literally has no effect in this raid, so I didn't really want to mention that, but I did anyway, just in case if any of you were wondering why I didn't mention that. But yeah, so that's very nice. It does around about 30k. His first jutsu does around about 34k-ish to a bravery unit, which is very nice, and about 68k to, not 68, where am I going with that? About 48 to like 50k, something like that, around there. I haven't really done the calculations, because it doesn't really matter too much, because you're barely ever going to be using your first jutsu with Madara. So yeah, it's not very useful jutsu. Literally, I don't think I ever use it once in the raid. So yeah, but anyway, so that's the first jutsu. For 6 chakra, Skyline Mewtwo does literally all the same things as the first jutsu, but has a 16.5 times multiplier to bravery in regular missions, and I believe there's a 49.5 times multiplier in the actual range, in the actual raid, which is very nice. So yeah, which basically allows him to do over 100k damage to bravery units, which is absolutely insane. Which is why I'm so happy I pulled him, because yeah, I was able to absolutely nuke the crap out of the final boss, and able to like deal like get rid of half of their HP, which is very, very nice. So that's pretty much it for Madara. The dupes, because I didn't really have so much healing on my team, I'm kind of glad I did have the heals, but to be honest, I kind of wish I had 2 Madaras instead of 1, because then I literally wouldn't even need the heals, because I'd pretty much be able to 2-shot the whole boss, which is, but oh well, I can't. So yeah, so that's Madara. Let's move on to the next unit. Alright, so the next unit I brought was the Sorcery, which Mainly just because Edo Sorcery has 300 heals every turn, which is just insanely useful because seeing as, this account is quite new, so I didn't really have a lot of heals, to be honest, so, it was kind of useful to have, and especially because his body skill has 150 attack boost, which basically enabled my Madara to do even more damage, which is amazing for me, so yeah, I'll definitely take that. Jutsus, I literally never use his Jutsus once, he's literally just there to give my Madara the attack boost, and also the heals, so that's pretty much it. I didn't, when doing this raid, I literally didn't have any of my units pilled out, because I literally don't have pills on this account, except for my Madara. I had him fully pilled out, but that's because I was literally just able, I literally had the right amount of strength pills to fully pill him in strength, so, and health pills. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Sorcery. There's really nothing else I can say. The annoying thing is that Sorcery has a low HP stat, so you can't, doesn't really help you tank too much. But the healing and the boosting attack on the body skill really does make up for it, so it's very nice. So that's it for Sorcery. Let's move on to the next unit. Alright, so the third unit, getting halfway through to this team already. The third unit I did take was the Blazing Bash OT Naruto, because on his first Jutsu he does give gives an attack boost of 25% for 7 turns to all allies in range, excluding himself, and restores their chakra gauge for those allies by 1, which was literally absolutely, it's so helpful, especially when it came to my fourth unit. You'll see why I brought this OT Naruto, because OT Naruto basically allowed me to deal as much damage as I possibly could to them. So yeah, also he has a field skill of boosting attack by 100 to 200, which basically allows my units to deal even more damage, which is very nice. Body skill of 15% chance to dodge doesn't really help too much, just because of how my team composition works. OT Naruto wasn't limit broken whatsoever for me, because I didn't really want to put my ultimate crystals into him, and plus I didn't really have the Rio to spend on limit breaking him, so I didn't really bother with that. I never used his ultimate. It was literally never a time for me to ever want to use his ultimate, because I was just always boosting at the time. Dupes, I had 0 dupes in my OT Naruto as well, 0 pills, as I said before. In the Sorcery one, I literally never pilled any of my units out except for Madara, so it shows, you can do this with budgeted units. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for OT Naruto. It didn't really have too much use for me except for boosting my units, so yeah, let's move on to the next unit. Alright, moving on to the fourth unit. So we're 2/3 of the way through this already, which is kind of like, what the hell, this is going a lot quicker than I thought. We have the skill Obito, yeah, the one, I don't really know how else to explain it, but yeah, the skill Obito, because there's 2 skill Obitos, the one that isn't Stage 6 part of Obito, basically. So yeah, I mean, I'll have him on screen anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, I use the skill Obito literally only because, just like OT Naruto, he does give attack boost for all allies in range, but Obito does it for 50% for 10 chakra, and does it for 5 turns. So it's very useful, especially because I didn't have 2 OT Narutos. If I did have 2 OT Narutos, my life would have been so much easier, but yeah, it really wasn't for some of it. Just because I didn't really have 2 OTs, but that's fine. I'm kind of glad I pulled this Obito, or else I probably wouldn't be able to do this raid, except for this week. Well, last week I wouldn't be able to, but this week, yeah, I definitely could have. So yeah, actually no, never mind. Okay, yeah, I'm thinking about replacements for these units, but never mind. I'll get onto those in a minute. So yeah, that's Obito. I literally only use for boosting my units. Didn't have any, wasn't limit broken whatsoever. Didn't have any pills or any dupes, seeing as Obito's dupes do boost HP by 100 each, so that could allow me to tank even more. But I didn't. So yeah, that was kind of made it a lot harder. But yeah, when it came to tanking some of the boss's hits, Obito's body skill with a 15% chance of dodging attack did actually kind of come in clutch a little bit in some of the runs I did. So yeah, well, that's pretty much it for Obito. Summary, yeah, he just boosts all allies in range by 50%. So yeah, which helps a lot. So yeah, right, let's move on to the 5th unit. Alright, so moving on to the 5th unit, which is, and this isn't my friend unit. So the 5th unit I took was the Bravery Killer Bee, not the super impact one, the summonable one, like with the Samehada sword or whatever. That's just whatever you want to call him. So I brought this Killer Bee simply because of the fact that he does quite a good amount of damage, base damage on his ultimate jutsu, especially when with the friend unit that I had, because he has a 10 times multiplier, which basically allowed me to finish off the second map unit a lot easier. So it allowed me to like sort of time when I wanted to move on to certain map, to the third map and all that stuff, which was very useful. So yeah, but the main reason why I used him was because his body skill has a 20% chance He reduces damage by 20%, which basically just allows me to tank hits a lot easier and a lot more, and basically gives me more chance to survive and able to generate chakra for my whole team, and then nuking the boss. So yeah, which is very useful. I never really used him whatsoever except for the second map, and that was it. I only really used him for the second map, and that's pretty much it. And also as a body unit for the friend unit. Dupes, I had 0 dupes into him. But obviously doesn't really matter too much because I mean he does give 300 healing with 4 dupes, and also does boost attack by 200 as well. So it kind of does help him nuke a little bit more, makes everything a bit easier. But yeah, I didn't have any dupes, and I barely even used him. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's it for Killer Bee. Time to move on to the final unit, which is basically was kind of a carry for the whole entire team. And not, you might think Madara was, but no, he really wasn't. Right, so let's move on to the very final unit. Alright, so the very final unit that I used as a friend unit was the Beast himself, probably the best unit in the entire game. Well, arguably, I don't know, but anyway, so yeah, I took Final Valley Naruto. Now this Final Valley Naruto as a friend did have full dupes, and I feel like having him at full dupes isn't needed, at least with 5 dupes. You don't really need the final dupe, it doesn't really matter too much, because the final dupe only really helps with the first map, and that's literally it. And the first map is the easiest one, so you don't really need a Final Valley Naruto friend with max dupes. You only really need him with at least the heals, which is 5 dupes. So you need him, just find like a Final Valley Naruto at 50 cost, and then that's all you need. So I brought Final Valley Naruto because he has a 40% bravery damage reduction, which basically just allows me to tank literally everything the third map had to offer, which is insane. His ultimate ignores pretty much the same, pretty much ignores everything, just like Madara does, so we can hit the third boss a lot easier, because the third boss, the third map does have a lot of barriers, perfect dodge, substitutions, and all that stuff that I really can't, which is kind of annoying to deal with. So yeah, Final Valley Naruto's body skill helped a lot with Killer Bee, because it allowed Killer Bee to do around about like 20k, 22k or something base on his ultimate, which kind of helped me kill the second map off a lot easier as well, which is definitely very useful. Main uses from the Naruto was literally just for his heals and just the damage reduction, and that's literally it. Because you know, judging from this team that you've seen, I don't have a lot of heals, so I'm kind of glad that Final Valley Naruto guys and Final Valley Sasuke got their buffs, because if they didn't, I probably wouldn't have been able to do this raid whatsoever. So yeah, that's it for all my units. Now I'm going to be going into the maps and going through each and every map and see how you can beat them. So I'll be back in a second once I get into that. Alright, so we are back. So starting off with the first map, I'm also going to quickly put my team composition on screen as well. I'm going to also put a screenshot of all the maps on screen as well before we get into this. So moving on to the very first map, boom. So once you've loaded into the first map, you'll see there's 4 Zetsus in each corner. Well, there's 1 Zetsu in each corner, sorry, and there's a Kage that spawns like in the very middle. So what you want to do is basically you want to kill off all 4 of the Zetsus first, because if you get close to the Zetsus, they have a fixed amount of damage of 3,000 damage, which is definitely going to hurt you a lot, and it's going to definitely cripple down your team. And it's basically going to be that's going to be the cause of what kills you on map 1. So that's mainly the only thing that you need to be cautious about. But you can literally stay in between the Zetsus, and then then you can just completely avoid fixed damage. But sometimes the Kage will push you towards the Zetsus, not with her jutsus, but just because her body's in the way, it sort of like nudges you towards them sometimes, which is kind of annoying. So that kind of makes you take 3,000 damage, but you can pretty much easily just move out of the way. So what you want to do on this map is just basically keep your Madara and Naruto out, and then just basically keep jutsuing or the Zetsus and Kaguya with your Final Valley Naruto, just so you can get your Madara ultimate at the ready, so then you can just nuke the whole entire map, and then you just kill off all the Zetsus and everything, which is very easy. The Kaguya does have a jutsu which doesn't do a lot of damage. I believe it does 1,500 damage. I think it's 1,500 damage, something like that, which is literally not a lot. It is AoE, but it's literally doesn't hurt too much, because Madara's field skill does reduce damage up to 30%, which is just going to make it just feel like it's just a tickle, like a scratch. So yeah, it's going to be really easy. So once you nuke the whole map with Madara, literally all you want to do is stall up to full chakra, and then basically just make sure, and then just auto attack the Kage to death, just so you have full chakra to start the second map. So that's been the first map. Let's move on to the second map. Alright, so we are back. So once you made it to the second map, that's if you did make it to the second map or something, it should be really easy to make it to the second map. It's so easy, the first two maps. But once you've seen that, you should see on the very right hand side, there's Kaguya on the very far right hand side, surrounded by 3 Zetsus. 3 Zetsus don't really do anything. I think they have counters, I can't remember. I don't really remember them countering, but I'm just thinking, because I know on S rank the Zetsus do counter, so I'm just thinking they might count. I can't really remember, because it literally just, the damage the Zetsus do literally is like almost nothing. They're that weak, so yeah. So the Kaguya does have AoE jutsus and has a single target that does healer for 3000 HP, and she does passively restore HP every turn, which is kind of annoying. So that's why not Madara, Hashirama is good for this map. If you do have Hashirama, because he does health seal, which is very useful for this map. But yeah, so she literally, this map is also pretty easy. Literally all you got to do is just all you want to do is group up, make sure that your Final Valley Naruto and Madara are close together. So then you can use the OT Naruto jutsu once. Don't use Obito's ultimate. You want to use OT Naruto's jutsu once on them. So then you've used chakra, so you can generate chakra with Final Valley Naruto's first jutsu to give OT Naruto chakra. So then it sort of makes it a lot easier for you to nuke the whole, to get the 150% boost on your Madara and Naruto. So once you've done that, you want to jutsu at least two of the Zetsus with your first jutsu, not your ultimate. Even though the ultimate does generate chakra, just use your first jutsu. It doesn't really matter because you can just nuke the rest of the map anyway. So once you've done that, you'll have Madara at 25% boost. You can just use your ultimate because it won't kill Kaguya unless if you get a crit. And then what you can do then is just boost up Naruto and Madara to 150% until once you've finally done the last boost with OT Naruto, you want to switch your Naruto out with Killer Bee. Make sure Kaguya is low enough to the point where Killer Bee's ultimate will kill, and then you can use his ultimate, which does around 22k damage with the 300 attack boost and the 200 attack boost from both Narutos, which will basically allow us to do 22k and hopefully finish your Kaguya. If it doesn't, then you're just gonna have to make sure that you do finish off with your third lane, because you want to lead off with your you want to start off with your third lane. So that's been map 2. Let's move on to map 3. Alright, so moving on to the third and final map, which is literally the hardest map, well, as it should be, you know, because that makes sense, doesn't it? The final map should be the hardest map, which it is. So once you load into the map, you'll see that Kaguya has a 100% chance of juice sealing, immobilization, and slip damage resistance, which means, you know, your whole tactics, like Ninja Road tactics of doing slip damage and juice sealing, doesn't work, which is kind of annoying. So what you want to do straight off the bat is just make sure that you nuke with your Madara, which does around about 300k, which does about half of her health, because she has 625,000 health, which is a lot. So yeah, which is very annoying. But if you do have Hashirama, I believe he does 500k on his ultimate when he's 150% boosted, which is going to help you a lot. So if you have Madara and Hashirama, you can just 150 boost them, then boom, you just nuke her in 2 turns, which makes your life so much easier. However, if you're like me and you don't, then you might want to carry on watching. So yeah, she has a 625k HP. She has a danger which she spams over and over again, which is AoE, that does 2250 damage, which is very annoying, and it kind of just chip away at your team, especially it does chip away at my team. So yeah, it kind of does outbalance heals. But once she's used her jutsus enough, she will end up changing to a secret technique, which has 3 turns, which basically gives you 3 turns to prepare to take on the secret technique, which does go to the closest target to you, which does 22,200, I believe it's 22,500 damage. Yeah, 22,500 damage, which most likely will one-shot you. Now this is where Madara's field skill and Final Valley Naruto, Final Valley Naruto's dupes come in, because Naruto has a, and Killer Bee as well, because Naruto has a 40% bravery damage reduction, Killer Bee has a 20% damage reduction, that's 60%, and then Madara has a 30% damage reduction, so that adds up to 90% damage reduction to the secret technique, which will basically go down to around about 7.5k damage, which, yeah, is going to help a lot. And then once she's used her secret technique, she'll go on to use her first jutsu again, But she will then go to the target that's the furthest away, which is why before the secret technique happens, you want to make sure that your OT Naruto is like furthest away from Kaguya. So then she will just keep jutsuing him over and over and over again. Which is the reason why you want OT Naruto to be targeted by the jutsus is because her jutsus do chakra seal, and you don't want your Madara or Naruto getting chakra sealed, because you want them to have their ultimates ready so they can keep spamming their ultimates over and over again until you kill the boss. Now, by this time, you should have Obito's ultimate ready, so you can give Madara the 50% boost, which will allow him to do over 100k damage. And then later on, all you need to keep stalling, repeating this method over and over again. And then you'll have Final Valley Naruto's ultimate, which you should finish him off with. But if you want like a better idea of how I do map 3, I'll probably put some gameplay up after I've done everything else, because this video is probably gonna be a very long video because it's a very in-depth guide. So yeah, that's been map 3, and then once you've done that, boom, you've finished the raid and you've gotten yourself Kaguya. So yeah, right, that's been map 3. Time to get onto all the different teams that I've created that you could possibly take in order to beat this mission. But I haven't tested them all out because I can't, so I'll be back in 1 second. Alright, so I'm back. I think instead of just showing you teams, I think I'm just going to show replacements. But I'm not going to do replacements for Madara, because I feel like in the team I made, Madara is kind of an essential. But if you do have Hashirama, then you could use Hashirama instead of Madara, I guess. I don't know, because, you know, Hashirama does like 500k, so I think with Hashirama and Final Valley Naruto, you can just easily two-shot the final boss anyway. So yeah, you don't really need to do that whole method that I have if you do have Hashirama instead of Madara. So yeah, that's all I'm really going to say about Madara, but yeah. So anyway, moving on to replacements for Obito and OT Naruto. There's the PC Naruto, the sexy jutsu Naruto, whatever you want to call, and there's Gengo's. So I'm just going to make this really short because, you know, there's a lot of characters to go through, so I need to put all these on screen. So we've got Naruto and Gengo. Oh crap, I probably shouldn't be closing these tabs because I need them for later. So replacements for Sorcery, just for heals, just healer units. There's Sage 6 Path Naruto, Blazing Fast Sakura, Samurai Sakura, Samurai Hashirama, Blazing Bash Hashirama, and then that's pretty much it for that. For damage reduction, for body skill, to replace Killer Bee, there's the Blazing Bash Unblazing Awoken Madara. There's the regular Shikamaru, the regular Sunable unit Shikamaru. There's literally like there's the Grand Ninja War Gaara, I don't really know what to call him, the Skill Gaara we'll call him. There's Blazing Festival Utakata, who's very useful. There's the Blazing Festival Wisdom Gaara. There's Blazing Bash Unawoken Gaara, and there is, and well, actually, yeah, that's it for that. If you want to use a different tank than Final Valley Naruto, I recommend either Hashirama or the Blazing Fast Sage 6 Path Bravery Madara, because those two do just dodge jutsus on their first jutsus, which are very helpful for tanking jutsus. So you can use those instead. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that. So I think that's all for all the replacements. Basically, just for any of these characters, just search for, if you don't have any of these characters that I showed you that as replacements, then just find anything that you know that you think that fits the same role as the characters that I have, and just replace them with your own. But because obviously I can't put every single character that replaces them on screen, so yeah, I'm sorry about that. But if you do want to ask any questions on teams or anything, you can ask me in my Discord, which will be in the link in the description, or you can message me on Twitter either, which is also going to be in the description as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you so much for watching. I'll just leave you guys with the gameplay. I apologize for this video being incredibly long, because literally this is taking me forever to make. So yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video, and peace basically. So have fun watching this gameplay. bye.